Maryland volleyball closed out its 2023 campaign with a winning record, but is still on the hunt for their first NCAA tournament appearance since 2005. We'll take a look into the Terps' successful season and what's in store for the future of this team, coming up on the Left Bench in Focus.
We played well, we played clean and across the board. Everyone really chipped in and did a good job. We stayed with it. I told them before, if you're up, you still stay one ball at a time, and if you're down, you gotta stay one ball at a time.
Welcome back to Left Bench in Focus, presented by Terrapin Sports Central. I'm Alex Gary, that's Maggy McGuigan, and Maggie, it's been such an exciting season for Maryland volleyball.
That's right, Alex. Between upset wins and dominating play, volleyball has really done it all.
Yeah, but we have to start with that dominating end of the season win against Rutgers. Maryland volleyball ended their 2023 season with a senior night victory over Rutgers Friday night, 3-2. The Terps fell behind in the first set, but 5 kills by Sydney Bryant and 4 kills each from Samantha Shinda and Layla Ricks in the second put the Terps up to even the match. Rutgers controlled the third set, but the Terps raced back to even the match in the fourth, 25-20. Sydney Bryant once again led the Terps, securing 8 kills in the set alone. The last set saw a lot of back and forth, but 3 straight points led by Bryant once again with the final 2 kills secured the senior night win for the Terps.
Overall, the team wanted to be known as being resilient, and didn't love our performance against Penn State. And then, I think sometimes we think it's an entire match, but today there was some resiliency within it. Just proud of it. It was a good team effort.
Despite a stellar performance on senior night, the Terps struggled in conference play this season and faced a familiar outcome against a conference foe. Maryland was swept by 14th-ranked Penn State in its second-to-last game of the season. The first set was a back-and-forth battle, but the Nittany Lions pulled away with a 25-20 victory. Penn State dominated the second set with a 25-9 win, and the Terps had no answer in the third, leaving them searching for their first win against the Nittany Lions since 1983. Coach Hughes is now 8-0 against Penn State, and here's what he had to say about the match.
And, they got a bit of a run out of the gate, and then I just felt like we never really regained confidence in service safe. Try to get some more people in, couldn't find a solution to the outside, and next thing you know, it slips pretty fast.
Maryland finished with a 500 record, an improvement from last season. Some dominating wins, some bad losses, but volleyball is showing signs of competitiveness in the Big Ten. Maryland volleyball got out to a hot start in the out-of-conference tournaments. Terps picked up 10 wins and 2 losses across 4 tourneys. They opened the season with their first win ever at home against Michigan, and first time taking down the Wolverines since 2020. Only 4 games later, they would get their signature win of the season, an upset victory against the then-ranked number 16 Minnesota Golden Gophers. Not only did the Terps pull off the upset, but they did so down 2-1 entering the third. Sam Sire and Anastasia Russ dominated, bringing Maryland the upset. The rest of Big Ten play was not as pretty, dropping 11 out of 15 games. The Big Ten is the best conference in volleyball, and it showed, especially against top-ranked Wisconsin and Nebraska. Maryland was able to close out the year with one last win against Rutgers, finishing with a 17-15 record.
Now to get a closer look into the Terps season, we brought on freshman Jonna Spohn.
Thanks so much for joining us, Jonna.
Of course, thank you for having me.
Now, it seems that the environment at the Pavilion has really kind of made a difference with numerous packed stands. How big of a factor has the Terps fans been this season?
Oh, I would say they've been huge. Obviously, I haven't been here in the past seasons, but you can really tell the difference between a home and away match because of our crowd. When we make great plays, they're loud. When we need some energy, they're loud, and they don't really waver, and they're just a consistent source of energy for us, especially with the band as well is also great. So yeah, it's been a really fun environment to play in this year.
And in the past 3 seasons, Maryland volleyball has finished 7-13 in conference play. How competitive is the Big Ten Conference from top to bottom?
It is extremely competitive. That's why I chose to play in this conference, and why I think a lot of us chose to play in the Big Ten. And we definitely are building. Even though our record has stayed the same, we've made a lot of growth, and I have really high hopes for the next seasons. But the Big Ten will continue to be competitive, and that doesn't scare us. And we're really excited to get after it in the next years and kind of build our way to the top of this conference.
Now, in the past 3 seasons, this team has been able to pull off some crazy upsets against some of the top teams in the nation, this season being against Minnesota. What do you think has been the biggest factor for your squad to rise to the occasion in some of these games?
Yeah, I definitely think that there's a general just like vibe with the team during those games where we know we can win and we're not afraid to play teams like that. And we want to get the win, and when everything works out, we all play our best ball, and we're just super high energy, really going after it. And we all just have the belief that we can win those games. Really drives us to the finish line when it comes to those high level matches. But yeah.
And all 4 freshmen played and contributed to your finale win over Rutgers. What do you think this means for the future of this team?
Yeah, I think that it was really special that all 4 of us were on the court for that game. I think every single one of these freshmen has a great work ethic, and we all want to win and contribute to our team the best that we can. So I definitely think that we all can be really good leaders just by example in the future, and hopefully help build this program and help those younger players kind of see our drive and want to feed off of that as well.
All right, Jonna, so we've asked you a bunch of questions but now it's time for some fun. How about some superlatives?
That's good.
So we're going to give you some
superlatives, and you have to tell us who fits into this category, all right?
So first off, who on the team?
Always the first one in the gym and then the last one to leave.
I would say that's probably between me and Samantha Schnitta. I'd say Samantha Schnitta just because she probably gets there a little bit earlier than me. But yeah, tons of people are in there early and leaving late depending on the day, because we're always getting extra reps. But I would definitely say Schnitta is someone who stands out to me as someone who is constantly getting extra reps and in the gym. So yeah, I would say her.
And who on the team are you trusting to pass the aux to? Who's most likely to get the team amped up before a huge game?
That definitely goes to Sydney Bryant. Pre-game in the locker room, she is always bringing the energy. I don't know how she always has that energy, but she's always bringing it, and she brings great vibes before the games for sure.
Is there a go-to song that you sometimes go to that she plays?
Well, there was a song by Olivia Rodrigo. I forget what the name of it is called, but she would always stand up and dance around the room for that song. But, any song she's really given the energy for us. So,
Well,
I want to know what you said about energy. Who really brings the energy, whether it's on the court, in practice, or even just on a long bus ride? Who just has energy 24/7?
Yeah, there is a couple people that stand out to me, but I'd say the number one person would be Zoe. On the bench, on the side, even if she's not in currently, she is always screaming and cheering for her team. And no matter what the score is, she is always keeping that same energy, and you wouldn't be able to tell what the score is if you just were looking at her. I sit next to her on the bus, so I know a lot about her energy on trips. She's a big laugher. She laughs at anything, and she'll just talk about anything. She'll talk your ear off. So she's a really fun person to be around, and she gives the energy and the fun every day for sure.
And lastly, who's most likely to go pro in another sport, and what sport would it be?
Let's see. think I would say Layla Ricks. She's super competitive, and we've played lots of other sports in our free time, and she definitely stands out as the the fierce competitor for sure. I would probably say basketball, just because I have played basketball at the pool with her and some of the other girls, and she was definitely the one that was very aggressive and going after it. So, yeah, I would say Layla Ricks for basketball.
We'll have to tell Brenda Fries about that, but those are all the questions that we got for you today, and thanks so much for having some fun with us. Jonna, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
And stay right here, because when we come back, we'll be joined by TSC's very own Drew Owens to break down Maryland volleyball's newfound success.
We'll also crown our MVP in the top 5 plays of the season. Don't go anywhere.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
There's so many rewards in life. You coming into our home was one of the greatest rewards we could have ever had.
You know, it took 20 years, and I got my 3rd child, who was 17 at the time.
It's so cool to watch the adult that you've become, and you really have done as much for us as you think we've done for you.
Welcome back to Left Bench in Focus, presented by Terrapin Sports Central. I'm Alex Gary, that's Maggie McGuigan, and Maggie, volleyball has been seeming to make improvements each season over the past few years.
Yeah, it seems as though ever since Hughes took over the program in 2018, the Terps have been making some really big improvements.
Exactly. And to talk a little bit more about that newfound success, TSC's Drew Owens joins us to break down how the Terps have improved over the years.
What do you got for us, Drew?
Well, guys, it wasn't an easy path towards success, but at the end of the day, Maryland volleyball is making a significant improvement each season. Going into the season, the Terps had one goal in mind: to reach the NCAA tournament, something they have not done since 2005. And although that did not happen, you could say their season was successful. To start their season, Maryland went 10-2 in their non-conference play matches. During those 12 games, Maryland went on a 6-game win streak where they were able to earn 4 consecutive sweeps. The Terps were hitting .308, marking the first time in the Adam Hughes era to hit over 300 in 3 consecutive outings. During conference play, Maryland had one of its best wins all year, an upset against then-ranked number 16 Minnesota. The Terps swept Iowa and Rutgers this season while earning other conference wins against Michigan and Ohio State. This season, 2 Terps reached major milestones within their time at Maryland. Setter Sydney Dowler recorded her 3,000th career assist against Illinois this season, becoming the 6th ever Terp to do so, while outside hitter Sam Sire recorded her 1,000th kill against Florida Gulf Coast. Sire also led the team in kills with 272 and points with 321 this season. Maryland finished with a 7-13 record in the Big Ten for a 3rd straight year, putting them in 11th place. Maryland's overall record showed a slight improvement, ending with 17 wins and 15 losses, putting them right above the 500 mark. This is the 3rd straight season where Maryland has gone 500 or over since joining the Big Ten in 2014. Maryland ended the season with 1,363 kills, 3,701 total attacks, and 1,242 assists, all an improvement from last year. Maryland also saw increases in assists per set and kills per set. The last time that Maryland saw the numbers like this was at the beginning of the Adam Hughes era in 2018. And guys, although the Terps are not going to the NCAA tournament this season, they sure showed that they have a lot to celebrate and a lot to look forward to. Back to you.
Thank you, Drew. And yeah, like Drew said, although they didn't reach the ultimate end goal of an NCAA tournament appearance, over the past few years, they've shown immense growth, and I think it shows that they're on the right path.
Yeah, and I mean, the Big Ten Conference, they're filled with perennial NCAA champions. You got Minnesota, you got Wisconsin, you got Nebraska. These are big-time programs, and Maryland just needs to keep on getting those reps under them, and eventually they'll start finding their way and maybe get back into the tournament.
Definitely. And the Terps' success wouldn't be possible without a key player who's contributed all 4 years of her years at Maryland, and that's our MVP, Sam Sire. The senior outside hitter led the 2023 campaign with 272 kills and 321 points. Sire's stellar career put her name in the Maryland volleyball record books. She became the 15th member of Maryland's 1,000 kill club early in the season, ending with 1,163. Sire also set her best single season mark in total service aces and aces per set this year. Congrats to Sam Sire on being our MVP.
With the MVP playing her last game as a Terp, Maryland volleyball is looking for that next player to lead their team. But over the past few weeks, it's become obvious that Sydney Bryant is a player we should look out for next season. In just 32 sets played, Bryant has showed out for the Terps. She racked up a total of 64 kills with a .220 hitting percentage. She also contributed 14 digs and 14 total blocks. She showed off her ability to lead the Terps on the stat sheet with an unreal performance against Rutgers, tallying 18 kills, 6 blocks, and 3 digs, all career highs for her. With Bryant continuing to develop and her getting more opportunities and more into the rotation, she can be an X factor for Maryland over her next few years here. All right, Maggie, end of the show, end of the season, Maryland volleyball, so we have to break down some of the best players this season.
All right, let's get into it.
And starting at number 5, we have Sydney Bryant kill in the final game against Rutgers. Maryland was down, and they got the kill right there. The power, she goes up and she slams it down with the kill.
And with number 4, we have MVP Sam Sire, the senior, with an absolute snipe. Let's see that one more time. Wow.
And in at number 3, we have Lily Gunter getting right to it, and Sam Sire with the kill. I mean, that combination, she put it right where she needed it, and with the power, she slams that down. That's why she's the MVP.
And at number 2, we have Sydney Dowler with her 3,000 career assists. She is just the 6th Terp to ever do it. Wow, what a memorable moment for the senior.
And for number 1, in the most memorable game this season, it's Layla Ricks getting that final point against Minnesota. Maryland pulling off the upset. This was a great moment for Maryland. They get their signature win on the year, and what a play by Layla Ricks. What a play.
Well, that's all we have for today. And for our final In Focus show of the year, we'll be going all in on Maryland football and its 3rd straight winning season.
In the meantime, you can keep up with all of Terrapin Sports Central's coverage on X, Instagram, YouTube, and online at terrapinsportscentral.com.
See you soon.